Brandon Marcello joining us now. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, guys. What's up?
Well, we were
the Blazers. What's up?
we
Brandon?
were looking at your Twitter account, and you got some special clothes in the mail, like a garment that you unboxed on video. Can you share with us what this is?
Yeah, it kind of sounds dirty when you put it that way.
Wow. Let me try again. I bet I can make it sound worse.
No. Yeah, I mean, I got a blazer in the mail, and it's the classic CBS Sports eye on the left breast pocket, and I'm going to be doing some sideline work for the CBS Sports Network.
Let's go.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
here's my issue for you. Why do they want you to wear a blazer on the sideline? Like, well, you can wear it in the studio, you can wear it in the booth, but it's hot out there.
Oh, it's going to be very hot, but it'll be worth it. I didn't realize it either. I didn't find it out till a couple of weeks ago. Like, hey, what's your address? We got to send you a blazer, and I was like, what? First off, that's awesome. But then also my second thought was, hopefully it's a darker color, which it always is, because I'll be sweating through that thing moving around that sideline.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, it looks like
There's nothing like the feel of a network blazer.
Well, let's be honest. CBS is the standard
It's the
when it
eye.
comes to covering
The big
college
eye.
football. Like, they have their live broadcasts have been second to none for a long time, and that is a prestigious looking blazer. And honestly, happy for you. That's really cool. What a moment.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, guys. It's it's very, very special. I can't really put it into words. I don't take it for granted, and
Well, you've earned it.
it's amazing.
Yeah. You've
Thanks,
earned it.
guys.
It's been fun to watch.
It,
Yeah.
Do you know what your first assignment is yet? Do you know which game?
I do. It's week 3, and it's close by, actually. SMU at Missouri State.
Okay.
All right.
Springfield, baby.
Red Lashley.
Yeah.
Red Lashley.
Weekend in Springfield.
Going to Springfield.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, the top 25's out. The AP poll. Are you voting in the AP poll?
I am not this year,
Okay.
thankfully.
Yeah. Well, it gives us all something to react to. There's 6 teams that got number 1 votes. They all got at least one first-place vote in the poll. Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame. Will one of those teams win the national championship, in your opinion?
Yeah, probably. I think that's a pretty good safe bet. I think one of the teams in the top 12, maybe top 10, when I'm looking at that thing, is probably going to end up winning the national championship this year. Though the spread of votes there shows the parity, obviously, that we're getting into with college football because of the transfer portal, because of NIL and revenue sharing. I think, actually, between the first and second place, the spread there was so close. It's the closest we've seen in the AP poll since 2008 in the preseason. And I think that just goes to show you that, no one quite knows what to expect, even atop those, top 4 teams, which I think it becomes pretty easy to say who maybe the top 4 teams are. I was kind of surprised that Penn State ended up getting the number 2 spot. I bet the folks at Fox are pretty upset because they had an opportunity to have the number 1, number 2 matchup. That would have actually been the very first ever number 1 versus number 2 non-conference game to open up a season ever in college football, and we missed out on it just by a few points of.
They are 1 and 2 in the coaches poll, if I'm not mistaken, aren't they? I think they are.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So maybe Fox should use that poll. I would.
I'll bet they do. I'll bet they do.
It's interesting to me to always see the preseason poll and then what happens at the end. And it's a reminder of what we love about college football. I mean, by the way, are you following this Oklahoma quarterback situation? And is there any chance that he gets suspended?
I'm following it, but I was digging into that late last night. Just I'm working on it. But here's the thing, and this is just me throwing this out there. I send Venmo payments and stuff between friends all the time, and I'll put weird messages on there that have nothing to do with.
I wondered about that.
But it has nothing to do with what's going on. So, but I think a lot of folks are looking into it, obviously. But yeah.
Well,
I can't really comment on anything other than that was my first thought when I saw that. I thought maybe it was just some playful banter between friends.
Fair.
But hey, we'll see.
No, that's actually good reporting. See how that works. Like somebody that actually is always trying to find actually out and not just perpetuate something.
Right.
And that we just saw it happen live. Just kids, take that to school with you today. That's a learning lesson right there. So, but what I do wonder about this, Brandon, I think so many college athletes gamble. It's incredible. Like that's just my opinion. I think probably more than actually would smoke marijuana. I think we would find that they are gambling on games. I mean, it's just part of our culture today, and I don't know how in the world they expect to do anything about it. The NCAA.
Yeah, you're right. It's very much part of our culture, and it's easier than ever to do it. You pick up your phone and do it. It used to be you go, hey, you get a bunch of buddies together, or you go, hey, anybody know a bookie around campus or something? But yeah, I mean, it's so easy, the ease of access to it, and the NCAA with their integration with some of the U.S. sports integrity folks and everything, they've been really trying to crack down on this really the last 5 years because of that ease of access. I mean, they're tracking unusual activity with betting. I mean, they're even looking at phones and everything on campuses. It's incredible how much they're able to kind of monitor this stuff, and obviously the athletes under so much scrutiny with it. But it seems like every year we're hearing something going on out there, but it's fascinating. I'll just say that. I do wonder. I don't know. Looking through someone's old Venmo payments, a little weird for someone to be doing that. But number one, number two. That was the first thought that came to my mind, and it might be incorrect, but my intuition was I send payments to people, other people send payments to people, and sometimes they put funny messages in there that has nothing to do with what you're actually giving them money for. So who knows? We'll see. I'm digging on it, and there's a lot of people out there late last night that are probably pretty peeved off at me because I was probably waking them up or sending them messages they didn't want to see.
Now, let me change the subject for just a second, or go back to the top 25 poll. We were talking about who's got a chance to win it. I want to focus for a minute on the other half of the top 25. There are teams in there like Florida, SMU, Oklahoma, Texas Tech. There are going to be lots of teams in this poll that are not in there at the end of the year. I just circled those four, and I'm using them as an example that when you get into the back half of this top 25, there are a lot of really unpredictable teams there that could still be in the poll at the end of the year or could be a pretty good ways out of it.
Oh, yeah, very much. One of those teams, the one we're actually just talking about, is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You look at their schedule, one, the amount of top 25 teams they have to face, but then the back half of their schedule, especially in November, but really mid-October through November, I mean, it's brutal. I mean, it's one of those situations where they've got 6 to 7 straight games. You're going, well, that's maybe a coin toss. That maybe is a coin toss. Yeah, they should win that, but they probably should lose this one. It's going to be very difficult. If you just stumble a couple of weeks down the stretch at a program like OU, especially with the way Brent Venables has struggled this past year in your debut season in the SEC, and they've gone all in on this upcoming year, changing coordinators, bringing in John Mateer at quarterback, a lot of different pieces they brought in as well elsewhere on the field. I mean, you face a very difficult decision there. And the other thing is practically every year there's a team that's outside the top 25 in the preseason that ends up being in the top 10 at the end of the year. And I kind of wonder, which team could that be potentially? And one of those teams, to me, if you look at the schedule again, could be like a Missouri. They've got a lot of talent this year. I've got some questions about how the quarterbacks have fit in that system, but you look at their schedule and you're like, if they're as talented as they have been the last few years, they should challenge to win maybe 9 to 10 games this season. They've got the easiest schedule in the SEC, in my opinion. And they're just on the outside looking in, and they look like a prime candidate to be that team that goes and finishes in the top 10 at the end of the year.
Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports, with us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Let's talk about Arkansas. Okay, we know how difficult the schedule is. We know that they have a bunch of new players. And we also have some reasons to be optimistic about the offense. But let me ask you this. Let's just say 6, 7 wins. What will Arkansas have done to win 6 or more games? Or what will they have done to lose 6 or more games?
Well, if they did that, if they win 6 or more, they've won, I would think, 2 or so kind of coin flip games, as I always call them, like a game against Auburn, for example. I mean, Auburn can get pretty hot this year if they can throw the football. They've got maybe a top 5 receiving room, but if you can kind of pull off a win against them where they're trying to find their identity, that helps you. You got to win your home games, right? I think a lot of people would look at that Notre Dame game and go, well, that's probably a loss, but listen, Notre Dame at this point, I was surprised about this. We were doing our show yesterday. They're still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. A lot of us assumed it was going to be C.J. Carr stepping in, but they got a legitimate quarterback competition going on, and was not expecting that. So they're trying to figure some things out up there. And that's a team that, among my colleagues, is very popular of saying they might be a team that is in the top 10 this year that ends up falling out of the poll. So that's maybe a very early opportunity for Arkansas. Early game, early in the season, you're at home. If the crowd's riled up and you don't allow those Notre Dame fans to infiltrate your stadium, because guess what? They will if you put those tickets on market. That could be big for Arkansas. That's, to me, as much as I think everybody's like, wow, this is an amazing game, this is a gigantic opportunity for Arkansas. They could legitimately beat Notre Dame this year, and if you get that done, all of a sudden you're on the map. People are talking about you maybe winning a lot of games yet, but you're probably going to be up in the top 25 early in the year, and you get some momentum going, you get some belief going, who knows what you can do down the stretch. So I know people don't like to look ahead and circle games, and especially coaches don't, but goodness gracious, what a gigantic opportunity for the Razorbacks early in the year.
Can't believe you embarrassed yourself like that with the Kool-Aid and all the Kool-Aid jokes that are coming your way today. And Brandon Marcello talking about the possibility of Arkansas beating Notre Dame. He's fallen for it, too. He's fallen for it, too.
It's even the national media.
Even he stumbled into the possibility of something happening that would be remotely positive. We just can't buy it. We can't believe it. I think it's going to be interesting, because of all the new faces, and I do think Arkansas has a chance to surprise some people. But like a lot of teams, it's just about what's going to come together and what's going to happen. All right, we'll get you out of here with this. Which SEC school will Jon Gruden be coaching at next year?
Oh, man. It's funny. Not funny, but I sat down with him last September. I went down to Tampa. We were the first people he spoke to about, hey, I'm really thinking about getting into college coaching. That's what I kind of want to do now. He's always flirted with it. He talked to Tennessee. He's heard the rumors about Arkansas even in the past and all this stuff. I find it difficult to believe that a major program would go hire Jon Gruden, a guy who's obviously never coached college football as a head coach. He's been out of the game for several years. He told me that the offense he would run is very much going to be what you would consider these days old school and kind of not exciting. He's totally against the idea of a silent count, a quarterback back there in the shotgun clapping their hands. You guys have probably even seen the videos. I mean, he took me into a side room and showed me how ridiculous he thinks it is that a quarterback flaps behind, and he's like, you got to yell at cadence, and in that classic Jon Gruden voice.
Yeah.
I think the guy's one of the most passionate men out there about football, and I think he's extremely smart. One of the smartest football guys I've ever been around in discussing the game. Just in the couple hours I was with him last year, but I talked to ADs across the country for that story last year, and it was about 50-50 about whether they would even consider interviewing him. Now, a year later, he's been in the media a little bit more. He's been out there. His image has obviously improved after what everything happened previously in the NFL. Maybe someone gives him that chance, maybe that opportunity, but I find it difficult to think that would immediately be like an SEC-type job, no matter what school it is in that type of conference. And that's the thing. He doesn't want to go coach like a small college. I mean, he wants to go to the big time immediately, and maybe someone does it. I'm not discounting it. All it takes is one person to say yes, but I think he's going to face a hard time sitting down and going through some of those interviews.
Yeah. Well, you're probably right about that, but the SEC has shown us before they'll do anything. They'll hire anybody. And I could totally see it happening with a school in this league. Brandon, great stuff as always. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for making time for us. As always, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right. See you, gentlemen.
See you,
appreciate
man.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations. Brandon Marcello will be adding to his duties at CBS Sports. He's already all over, on studio shows and whatever. And then he's going to add sideline reporting to his duties in his new CBS Blazer.
He's going to be bringing it in now.